2026 is here, so as a car guy, here are my top 10 predictions for what's coming in the new year. I'm a big F1 fan. I've watched every single race live since 2015, so I'm going to start there. In Formula 1, I think Max Verstappen takes the driver's title. Between the compression loophole that Ford has along with Mercedes, as well as with the more stable state that Red Bull's been in since the second half of this season, and of course the driver mod himself, Max Verstappen, I think he's going to dominate in these new cars. My second prediction for F1 is that Cadillac will not finish last. This first year they're running Ferrari engines. They have two of the wisest drivers on the grid, so if there's ever going to be points on the table, they're going to pick it up. And yeah, I just don't see them finishing last. Now let's get into predictions for new cars. They say they're going to get out in 2026, so we're going to talk about the Toyota GR GT. On paper, this car looks absolutely sweet. When I first saw the layout of the chassis with the transaxle, I thought that it looked just like the Mercedes AMG GT, which is a car that I almost bought. Definitely a proper driver's car. Now the only thing that turns me off a little bit from the GR GT is that $200,000 price tag. I think that this car has a fate similar to that of the Lexus LC500, where it's an amazing car to drive, but the price puts it up against cars that will outclass it. And at the end of the day, why are you going to spend 200 grand on a Toyota when you could have a Porsche? One thing that looks to be coming back for 2026 is the return of physical buttons in cars. I've been a big proponent of physical buttons because I like the fact that you can adjust the radio, the AC, you can kind of tinker with the settings of the car while keeping your eyes on the road, because when you have physical buttons, it's easy to feel and kind of get a muscle memory, whereas with the touchscreen or even capacitive touch, you have to look over to see if you're really doing what you want to do with the car. Ultimately, that's just taking your eyes off the road and essentially the same as making you play on your phone while driving. I'm excited and I'm hoping to see more cars with physical buttons on the interiors in 2026. What a nerdy prediction. And for my third new car prediction for 2026, I don't know about you guys, but my feed's been full of retro modern car renders. I think people are getting sick of the direction cars are going, especially enthusiasts. And I think the brands are picking up on that, but not necessarily in the right way. So my prediction is we're gonna see more classic names coming back into production, but I think they're gonna be flops. You think about cars like the Chevy Blazer, the Dodge Dart, the Mitsubishi Eclipse, and even the Ford Mach-E. I think a lot of manufacturers are gonna bring back old nameplates, but totally miss the plot with why those cars were special in the first place. I mean, as a kid personally, I thought the Mustang Mach-1 was one of the coolest classic Mustangs there was. So when I saw the Mach-E, was a little bit bummed with that. And for my fourth prediction, we're going back to Ford. There's rumors about a new GT500. Now this sounds really cool, but I have a sneaky suspicion that the price to performance ratio on that car will just not work out. And I might be a little bit biased, but I think it's gonna get left in the dust by the likes of the Corvette Z06, E-Ray, and potentially the Grand Sport coming down the line. Which if the engine rumors for that car are true, that's a whole nother video on its own. Coming in at number 5 for new car predictions in 2026, we have the electric Cayman and Boxster platform. Now I'm someone who's pretty much only owned manual sports cars and street bikes, so I'm the last one to be waving the flag of the EV, but after having driven the Porsche Taycan, I think that Porsche will absolutely nail it because they are a car company. I think these cars are going to dominate the electric sports car market, and they really don't have any competition because we know the Tesla Roadster is not coming out in 2026. I'd expect these cars to have the same level of balance and refinement you'd get out of a current Cayman or Boxster, but unfortunately one of the great benefits of that platform is the low weight, and you're probably going to be quite a bit heavier for a full EV on that platform. So while it's probably not in the cards for my next daily driver, I do think they will be good electric vehicles. And last but not least, we have yet another electric vehicle, and surprisingly this is actually my favorite, the one that I'm most interested in, and that's going to be the Slate truck. I think this thing is bringing Ford fucking Ranger energy to 2026. It's just a super basic truck. It looks like it should be impossible to break. I mean, one of the options, you can't opt for a sub. You literally can opt for a strap to clip a Bluetooth speaker to the dash. I like what they're getting at with this car, and I like the simplicity. And in my opinion, that's a lot closer to what an electric vehicle should be, because if they're really about efficiency, they don't need to be 7,000 pound behemoths. And with the way things are going right now, I think a good, cheap American truck is just what this country could use. Now moving on to a couple more general predictions. Number 1 is going to be the Kawasaki 636 recall. I kind of hope, more than predict, that Kawasaki will finally fix this and the ZX6R will return to being one of the best bikes on the street. And to everybody out there, as a 636 owner myself, I've had 2. Fortunately, I wasn't affected by the recalls, but I feel so bad for everybody out there that's affected by these recalls. I have a buddy whose bike's been up there for maybe like 6 months at this point. It's been there since the summer. It just sucks because to me, street bikes are always about a feeling of freedom. You go out, you beat the shit out of it, you just park it up in the garage. As long as you change the oil every so often, you're good to go. But unfortunately, these Kawi's have been having a lot of issues. So I hope and predict that that will be solved in 2026. They'll finally figure out the gremlins of that engine. And my second general prediction is a little more lighthearted. GTA 6 should be coming out in 2026. I hope so. But I think that GTA will continue to inspire the next generation of car people, car guys, car girls. Whether or not it's supposed to be this way, a lot of little kids are going to end up on this game. And GTA has some absurd customization. I really hope that there's some cool options and they kind of continue what they did in GTA 5, where there's a ton of ways to build up cars and make them all super fast and fun to tool around in, because realistically in this day and age, video games and probably TikToks are what's building the taste of the next generation of car guys. So it's good to pay attention, because when we're all the boomers sitting in our lawn chairs in front of our Corvettes and these guys are the ones running around the car meets, we want them to grow up with a good wide variety, a good taste. You know, I want to see young people keeping classics on the road. I want to see them building up new cars. I just don't want to see these freaking Mustang guys going into the crowd. But not sure GTA is the best one to prevent that. So, and last but not least, this is technically the 11th one, but I'm going to throw this in here because it's a little bit of a personal one. I predict that in 2026, I will finally be able to get a vehicle that is registered. I've never registered any vehicles I've owned after buying them. So once I can button up this O2 sensor issue and get my check engine to go away, I'm going to register the C-Sub. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think about all these new cars coming out? Just the general direction of the car industry as a whole? I mean, there's a lot of people out there, including myself, who feel like a lot of even the supercars are missing a little bit of the magic that they used to have. I just want to see what we as car guys can do to move car culture in the direction we want to see it going. I think the biggest way you can do that is by sharing what you're doing with cars, telling people what you like about your car, being accepting of their builds, and ultimately it's going to be voting with your dollar. But that's it. I'll step off my soapbox and I will see you guys next time.